Welcome! In today's video we're making sauerkraut, but not just that, I'm going to show you my top 4 tips that will increase the likeliness you'll get consistent results. And also one thing you don't need to do, so stick around for that. First tip, cleanliness is key. Wash your hands thoroughly. Sterilize your chopping board and knife with boiling water. Make sure all your utensils and area are clean. You don't need any special equipment, and for your vessel, glass is a good option. I use plastic lids as metal tends to corrode over time. So why does everything need to be so clean? Because we're trying to create the best conditions for good bacteria to come, while also inhibiting bad bacteria from being introduced. Wash, core and chop your cabbage any size you like as long as it's consistent. Tip 2. Use enough salt. A good rule to go by is that you need 10 grams of salt per 500 grams or 1 pound of cabbage. 10 grams is roughly a tablespoon. Or you can do the 2% method. This is the most accurate. Using a kitchen scale, weigh your cabbage, multiply that amount by 0.2 and put that quantity of salt in grams in. Use only plain, unrefined sea salt, Himalayan or Celtic salt. Processed salts may disrupt your ferment from developing properly. If you're new to making sauerkraut, just stick to the basics until you feel more confident. From there you can divulge into the world of endless flavors for your ferment. Salt is the golden ingredient in all ferments. It is critical because it holds back any putrefying bacteria for long enough for the good bacteria, lactic acid, to proliferate. Interestingly, the lactic acid is what keeps the cabbage in a perfectly preserved state, and also what helps us digest our foods. Tip 3. Mold is an enemy. If you have mold in your environment, you have mold spores. So before you begin, go ahead and check you don't have any moldy bread or fruit in your kitchen or fridge. If you do end up with mold on your sauerkraut, just toss it and start from scratch. If it smells like you don't want to eat it, don't. Trust your nose and your eyes and you should be fine. Now I will reveal the one thing you don't really need to do, and that is pound your cabbage. It's not really necessary, but you can do it if you like your sauerkraut softer. Mix your salt in thoroughly and cover it with a tea towel for 45 minutes. Salt draws the moisture out of the cabbage so you don't have to pound. Which leads us to tip 4. Fresh is best. Start with the freshest cabbage you can source because it has the highest water content. We need to cover our cabbage completely in its own brine because our fermentation is taking place in an anaerobic environment. If your cabbage is not releasing enough liquid, it likely means it's not the freshest. If you are caught short, you can fill up your jar with water. In this case, you'll want to increase the salt to 5%. Save a piece of cabbage and pack it on the top so everything is sitting underneath the brine. Or if you often forget like me, just sprinkle a little salt on the top at the end. This just ensures bacteria is held back. Always leave about 1 inch of space at the top of your jar because everything usually moves up a little. Seal your jar tightly and leave it at room temperature for 3 to 4 days or up to 2 weeks. The longer you leave it, the softer it will become and the more tangy or sour. I like mine crunchy, so I only leave it out for about 4 days or so. The warmer your home, the faster the ferment in general, so just something to keep in mind. Check it every day. Burp the jar, have a smell and a taste too. When you like it, refrigerate it. It should last for quite some time, but best to consume it within 3 months. If you are a bit nervous about tasting your own sauerkraut, you can always buy a jar from your local organic shop and taste it so you can compare. Now you know how to make it, long may you enjoy its health benefits. In many traditional cultures around the world, a meal isn't complete without something fermented, so you're on the right track by giving this a go. If by chance your sauerkraut doesn't turn out, don't be discouraged. There is a natural learning curve with these things and it's totally normal to have some flops along the way. Just have another go. Please let me know how you get on and leave any questions or comments below. Thank you so much for watching.